Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Real Life Roddells. If you missed part one, here is a quick 60-second recap of all the time lapse. Basically, in part one of this horse barn remodel, we did a ton of concrete bust out. We put in the main drain line, we poured concrete, and then we did a lot, and I mean a lot of framing. Just building in a bathroom and a closet, and then we spent a lot of time building a 4x12 loft above that, which will be for trophy mounts and that kind of stuff. It's going to look really cool when we're done. As a matter of fact, by the end of this episode, you'll kind of get a glimpse of what it's going to be like, at least the shape and the elements that are going to go together. And then we finished out part one by framing all of the lower walls in the entire office space, and then prepping to reclaim all the boards for the outside. So here we go with part two. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a very long day. We got a lot done. Started framing the upper walls. Now up here, I'm gonna frame this side of all those planks. So since it was wide open and there was nothing at the top, I kind of just had to work up from the wall using those 4x4s and 4x6s. So anyway, got all of that barnwood up. Started that barnwood. The problem is there's an outlet box right there that the guy is coming either Monday or Tuesday to take care of that. I get a little more normal color here. It's nighttime, so that's why it's so washed out with the bright light. Anyway, so he's gonna come, I believe Tuesday, take down that outlet box and the conduit that goes across the top right there. All of that up there will be plywood to the outside, and then it'll be tongue and groove on the inside. Pretty much everything inside this office is gonna be tongue and groove. So, got all of these framed out. And if you're wondering why it's pink studs, in the Southeast, just Google it, they'll tell you the whole story. Basically, it was a marketing ploy at one point. It was waterproof paint. It's supposed to seal the boards. Supposedly it's fireproofing as well. It identifies studs that are cut shorter. It already has the sill plate and the top plate cut out. So when you put them together as a wall, it's exactly 8 feet. That's what the pink means. It means it's not an 8-foot stud. It's cut to be in the wall. They're cheaper. So, and again, supposedly fire rated and waterproof. But like right there, I've already chipped off that one. I've already chipped off some of the paint. So anyway, and yes, some of the paint comes off on you. Half of the day was spent picking up the scaffolding and then assembling the scaffolding. It took longer to get the scaffolding out of the box than it did to put the scaffolding together. It's crazy. A lot of geometry, a lot of math. My brain hurts. Cleaned up my stuff. Fixing to go home. Janet and the kids two kids are at their grandparents' house, and Janet and kiddo number one are at the playoff game. I don't even know where they are. I think they're in Jacksonville. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go home, shower, and sleep. Bye. All right, so it is December 9th, Monday, almost 11 o'clock. Janet was sick all last week with the crud, lost her voice, and I tried to avoid her germiness, but apparently her germiness got all over me because now I'm dealing with the crud. So, been here since about 7:30 this morning. Made a couple trips to the hardware store to get some pricing on more materials to finish this out. But we've got electrician, AC, septic, and spray foam all coming this week. I don't have to have everything ready for the spray foam guy yet. He's just coming to take measurements and give us a quote. But electrician's coming tomorrow to do all the rough in. Septic is coming to basically take that drain line that we buried and that we took about 2 feet outside the building. They're going to take that and run across this access road here and into the field, the leach field, which is where they're going to put the septic tank. So I don't have to do anything with their stuff. AC, I've at least got to have the exterior sheathing on all of these 4 walls because they got to be able to see what they're going to have to cut through and all that stuff. So there's a lot to do. All right, so before I go any further with the framing, which you can see, got that half of the breezeway wall up. On this side though, we're doing that tin roof. And so I went and bought 2x4, 2x6, and 2x8, all 12-foot lengths that I am now gonna rip down on the table saw with a 45-degree bevel on it. So I can set those up there, and then we're gonna cut strips of OSB to cover that. And so basically I'm just gonna go ahead and frame that little roof, hip roof out now, so we can put recessed cans and whatever else we need to inside there. And then later when we're putting all the sheathing on, the tongue and groove, we'll put the tin on there. But because I'm framing around where this is going anyway, I want to tie it into the sidewall so that there's no need for support in the middle. It's gonna be pretty cool. Here we go. Okay, so it is 3 p.m. and I am finishing up that hip roof. We're calling it that. There's something else you can call it. Anyway, it's just an overhang. So I've got a template marked. So these will be basically the little rafters that come down from that ledge and support the OSB. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all that. The guy you just saw walking around in the time lapse was our AC guy. So tomorrow morning, the electrician, the AC, the septic will all be here to install their parts. I'm still not done. So I've got all the boards cut for that. I've got 2 of the 4 panels cut to put on the outside of this. So really, I'm in a good position. I've already warned Janet that I may be working late because I've got to get at least the exterior sheathing on these 4 exterior walls done. I've got to take a piece of plywood above that bathroom right there. I've got to take that top decking off so that the electrician can put a light and a bath fan in there. I've still got a little bit of framing on the outside metal wall. But as far as being ready for electrician and AC, as soon as I get these studs up and get this plywood up on this wall, we're going to be in a really great position. So I'm going to cut these real quick, get that all put there because I need to frame around the supports for that roof. That's why I'm doing it now. It's actually an aesthetic piece, but because I don't want any posts in the middle of the room holding up this roof, building it into these stud walls on either side. So anyway, here we go. All right, it is Thursday morning. I believe it's December 12th. It's 37 degrees in here. 37 degrees inside this horse barn. Oh, it's brutal. All right, so the electrician has been here. He's got everything roughed in. The HVAC guys were here yesterday, started getting everything cut in our utility closet to put the main unit. And he started to trim out and cut some holes to put the ductwork and all the vents in. So the ductwork is going to start. It's going to come up here, go through that plywood, and go all along that outside wall there. There's all of our supplies. It's all the ductwork and everything and all the insulation. He should be here later this morning to install all that. As soon as he does, I can do the fur down. Some people call it a soffit, but I've always referred to a soffit as the underside of an overhang on a roof. Fur down is what we use furring strips to build. So anyway, so right now I've got the last 6 boards already measured and cut to put right up there to go all the way to the ceiling. And just like we did yesterday with that wall, we'll go ahead and trim it out. Now there's not going to be plywood at the top on this breezeway side. That's going to be 2x6s all the way up. But since this is just a utility storage closet over here, and everybody comes in that door down there and hardly ever sees it, we're not really worried about aesthetics. I mean, we did the 2x6s all the way up to the trusses. Now that other side where that storage loft is, way down there over the metal office, we're just doing plywood up there on the outside. So anyway, we're gonna get everything trimmed up and sealed. We just met with our spray foam insulator. He came to give us a quote this morning. And so because we've got this 2x6 and there's slight gaps between them just because of the nature of wood. I don't know, you may be able to see the daylight through there. So we've either got to go through and seal each individual gap with flashing tape, or he said just use house wrap on it. So I'm just going to use house wrap because it's a heck of a lot easier to staple a sheet inside there than it would to go through and tape every single seam all the way down. So anyway, the bad news is he said it's probably going to be a week and a half before he can get out here. The good news is there's still plenty for me to do between now and then, but we were really wanting to get spray foam done next week, like Tuesday or Wednesday, so we could go ahead and do all the tongue and groove boards here, because we're going to cover that entire wall up the ceiling, playing around with staining this to match that old wood, and then just having a natural light yellow southern pine on the ceiling. So all of it will be polyurethaned and sealed, but I like the idea of having two-tone. So it's just not so much just a wooden box that we're in, because we are going to do vinyl plank that we finally selected yesterday. Now this doesn't do it justice because this is just one piece, one little tiny piece of one piece, but it's distressed barn wood. It's all different colors and patterns. There's good variation to it. What is that? Norfolk pine from SmartCore Ultra. So anyway, we had picked a different one. I think it was Richmond oak or something like that, because it was really distressed. Like it looked like somebody had set a sander on parts of it for too long, and it just had a lot of really warm, rich color, and they discontinued it. So this is the next closest thing. So anyway, a lot to do. Floor plugs there. I've got to make sure it's level and pour concrete. We got our shallow sanitary elbows. Everyone had these really long ones that added like 3 to 4 inches height to it, and we didn't need that. We just needed a simple sanitary elbow that was smooth on the inside so nothing got clogged. Finally found 2 of them. They were $10 each. Good grief. But I'm ready to put those in and go ahead and put our toilet flanges in and seal this one up. I still have to bust out a little bit more concrete over here in the men's bathroom to shift that toilet. It was going to be on the side. Now it's going to be centered on the wall facing the door. So I've got to move that over about 8-10 inches. So a little bit more concrete busting to do, but we're going to get this room prepped so that there's absolutely no reason, if the spray foam guy's schedule changes, that we want to eliminate any obstacles to him getting in here as soon as possible. So here we go. I just want to demonstrate how loud it is in here when it rains. Same thing. Tuesday morning, December 17th, about 7:15 in the morning. It's 36 degrees outside again. Woo! There you go. There's some harsh light. We got the ductwork in. I've boxed that whole thing in yesterday so that we can cover it in tongue and groove later. They've got all the smaller ducts that they're going to be putting in today. Today I'm going to work on finishing putting up all that house wrap. In between all these sections, it was an afterthought. It would have been so much easier to put that up first. But we didn't know we were going to be using it until the sixth person we called to do a quote for spray foam installation finally came out and was willing to give us a quote. So septic system gets installed tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I already told them I will not be here at 6 a.m. So, anyway, a lot going on, but there's still a lot of plates spinning and a lot of balls in the air, so lots to do. All right, so a very, very busy but very, very productive day. So got most of the house wrap up on this area. I mean, I've still got a couple little sections, and then I've got to do that wall and the other one. But as you can see, I mean, we've got most of it pretty well knocked out. Got in this bathroom, I've got all the stub ends for the plumbing, for the drain, the hot water, cold water. I've still got to run the red PEX for the hot water feeds for this sink and for the one on the other side. And then I've got to drill all the holes to go through that wall to where the tankless water heater is going to be and the manifolds. Got the shallow sanitary elbow in there. Still got to do a little bit of trim on the connection piece here so that toilet flange sits perfectly flush with that ground. Started staining and polyurethaning the boards. So the lighter boards are going to be for the ceiling, darker boards are going to be for the wall. Really, really going to pop. And then went ahead and cut the corrugated tin, and the customer wants rust side up, which after putting the polyurethane on this, that's looking really, really stinking cool. I told him right before he left a few minutes ago, if this were dry, this would be up on that loft roof right now. So anyway, septic is here at 6 a.m. tomorrow. HVAC guys are going to finish up their part tomorrow morning. They got all the equipment up there, and then they're going to do the vents for the main office. The owner and I were just talking about what to do out here, whether or not we're going to sand that or just pressure wash it after it gets the spray foam, or whether we're just going to leave it like it is or polyurethane it. I don't know. I think he's addicted to polyurethane after he saw what it did to those boards. So, I mean, they do pop. I don't know if it shows on video, but they're gorgeous. As soon as these guys are done with their part tomorrow, we're going to clear all this out, get the leaf blower out and blow all the dirt and dust and sawdust out of here, kind of restack everything. And we're going to use this whole breezeway as our staging area to start staining all the boards. And then when they dry, polyurethane them. I told him, I said, these scaffolds are the best investment of this project thus far, because they've been a lifesaver as far as doing all the planking, and they double as excellent drying racks for these 16-foot boards. So, a lot going on. I've got a jet. My oldest has a band concert tonight, and then we're going to be back up here bright and early, except it's still going to be dark when we get here first thing tomorrow morning. So, fun times. It's coming together. I cannot wait for the spray foam to be done so that I can start running with the tongue and groove. It is going to come together very quickly. Woo!